Declan, brilliant from you at the end, saving what could have almost been a goal, just frantic at the end and a point. How do you reflect on that? Because the players look disappointed going in, but still a valuable point.
Yeah, valuable point. I think the game was split up probably into different halves. I think they probably had the better first 20 minutes and we was on top going up to half-time. We started the second half really well. We went 1-0 up and then they piled the pressure on. That's the Brentford way and they're really effective at it. They can get to your goal in less than 4 passes. They play long balls. Igor holds it up really well. They get corners, throw-ins and we was defending really well and in the end we should defend the goal better. But we've also had another chance at the end to win it. So look, it's disappointing, but Brentford are an amazing team and this is a really tough place to come. So look, we take the point, we keep it moving.
Noni with a brilliant goal, keeping in the air to deliver that. But what makes them so hard to score against?
I think the way they set up. I think if you're coming to this stadium and you've watched Brentford this season, you see how effective they are. It's not an easy game at all. They beat the top teams here a lot. And they're just really effective at what they do, We played really well, like I said, in spells. Could have probably made better use of our chances and our momentum. But in the end, look, if you can't win a game, don't lose. We're still 4 points clear at the top and, things we've got to keep looking forward. We've got another game next week. So, yeah, positive.
Importantly, you have that other game before Manchester City kick off. Do you see that as losing ground by dropping 2 points today or just keeping the momentum?
No, because it's been a roller coaster of a season. I think game week 17, 18, they was 2 points behind and then we extended it and then it's been like that all season with us, Villa, them. If anyone thinks it's going to be an easy way going for the title, they're naive, This is the best league in the world against the best players. So, yeah, it's going to be tough, but we can only control what we can control and that's our games and trying to win our matches. We can't worry about anyone else and, if we do, we can't be doing that. So, yeah, we've got to focus on us.
Well then, what a difference a week makes. When Arsenal beat Sunderland and Liverpool took the lead against Manchester City, some thought that the Premier League title race was over. But after City's impressive comeback win at Anfield, followed by their victory over Fulham midweek, that has all changed now, hasn't it? Arsenal could only draw at Brentford last night, meaning their lead at the top has now been cut to just 4 points. Just the one effort on target in the first half. It came from David Raya, his mistake against his old team. His rollout intercepted straight away. Matthias Jensen crossed in for Igor Thiago's header, but that was brilliantly saved by Raya. Arsenal's first effort on target came after 61 minutes, and it turned out to be the opener as well, Noni Madueke, with the header. And they missed a big chance to make it 2. Michael Kayode nipping in just in time. In the 73rd minute, a long throw eventually turned in by Keane Lewis Potter for Brentford's equaliser. On a yellow card, Gabriel avoided a second for this tackle with just 8 minutes to go. Both teams had big chances to win it as well. Thiago denied by a superb Christian Mosquera last-ditch block. And then in stoppage time, an even better chance for Gabriel Martinelli to win it for Arsenal. So neither side could find a winner. Arsenal only able to extend their lead to 4 points. It's the 4th time this year that Arsenal have played after City and dropped points.
We're going to be willing and preparing to win every single match. And the only thing that we can do is focus on that and raise the levels collectively and individually to be better than the opponent every week. And that's going to carry on like this till May, regardless we play before or after that. It's just the things that we have to do. That's the most important thing.
So, Mr. Ambrose, 2 points dropped for Arsenal or a point gained?
Look, it's 2 points dropped. Of course it is. When you're 6 points clear. But I think the story is about Arsenal, the points dropped. But I think to a certain extent it has to be about Brentford and Keith Andrews. And because I thought they were outstanding. I thought they nullified what Arsenal bring. I thought the last 20 minutes of the game was really good viewing. Arsenal are predictably better than everyone at the moment. And when people talk about they could be most boring team to win the Premier League, I think that's why. They're predictably better. And when they scored, Madueke, great header, by the way, when they scored, you just thought, right, they're going to see this out, another 1-0, and they get the 3 points. But then Brentford really took it to Arsenal. And as we just see there, Mosquera's challenge on Thiago at the end. I know Martinelli had a chance as well, but Brentford were going for the win. And this is a team that lost Thomas Frank in the summer. Few people eating humble pie now over Keith Andrews, because myself included thought they'd be down the bottom. They really showed how you can go against a team like Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of teams will be looking at that. So in terms of Arsenal, they should be looking to be beating teams like Brentford if you want to go and win the title.
Look, we've seen them falter in recent title challenges. Is that end of season form, do you think, going to cost them again, Darren?
Well, I hope so. Being a Spurs supporter, I hope it does. But look, if it really could. I know we spoke about the Opta supercomputer giving them 86% chance. I'm not so sure about that. I think that there's a couple of players. They lost Saliba yesterday, of course. Gabriel as well, who, by the way, I think should have been sent off towards the end yesterday for second yellow card. And Declan Rice. I mean, for England, hopefully nothing happens. But if they lose players like that for a number of games, I think it could come back to bite them. And Man City seem to find a way always. And when you're getting chased by a super club like Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, I can see nerves kicking in.
I can see the hope in your eyes as well there. they lit up as I asked you that question. Dave Reed has been taking a look at Arsenal's record in recent seasons during the run-in. Dave, what have you dug out for us?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. 12 games to go now. So what do Arsenal usually do when the pressure really cranks up? Well, in 2022-23, they took 21 points from their final 12 games. Manchester City, though, went on a remarkable run, taking 31 in their final 12 games, a 10-point swing to clinch the title. What about the following season? Well, Arsenal and City stride for stride that season. City taking 32, Arsenal 31 points. Remember that 0-0 at the Etihad? That ended up being the defining game for Arsenal's title run. Last year, well, Liverpool were in control, really, and they finished with 23 points in their final 12 games. Arsenal on 21 to finish 10 points off the top. What about this year and 2026? Is there a pattern emerging for Arsenal? Well, when City have played first, Arsenal have either failed to take advantage of slip-ups or failed to win themselves, allowing City to close the gap. Arsenal had opportunities to stretch their lead against Liverpool and against Nottingham Forest, but couldn't do it. Then, when City have won, Arsenal have slipped up. First against Manchester United when they were beaten by 3-2, and then again last night against Brentford at the G-Tech. Arsenal are predicted to take 25 points from their final 12 fixtures. City predicted to take 22 in their final 12, which according to our friends at Opta means that Arsenal will reach the magic number of 82 points. City will reach 75. The data says this is Arsenal's year. Now they have to deliver.
They absolutely do have to deliver. Dave, thank you. Darren, what do you make of those stats? I mean, psychologically, as Dave was saying there, when City have gone first, Arsenal haven't reacted. How do you read that one?
Well, it's damning. It's damning seeing that. I mean, may as well stop the league now if they're saying Arsenal's going to win it. I mean, it doesn't work like that, does it? There's some tough fixtures coming up. There's going to be twists and turns for both Arsenal and Manchester City, of course. I pick out that they obviously play Wolves away. They should be winning that, of course. Then I pick out the two London derbies, Spurs, and you could laugh at that. There's such a better side, and the reverse fixture was embarrassing as a Spurs supporter. But it's all changed now. They're going to have a new manager at the Realm, Spurs, and it's at the Tottenham Stadium as well. So it could go either way, that one. Then they play Chelsea after that. That's going to be a tough one. I was at Chelsea Leeds the other day. No, it ended up 2-2, but it shouldn't have done. Chelsea should have been way out of sight before the equaliser. And of course, is it April the 18th they play against Manchester City? I think that's going to be a pivotal one. And looking at those stats, it is damning for Arsenal, and they need to get out of that mentality if they want to get this over the line.
Yeah. That's the views of the Tottenham fan. Let's speak to an Arsenal fan, because Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan performance and that result.
I'm not as happy as Darren is this morning. But I agree. Brentford deserve huge credit. They went man-to-man right up until the end, and they were trying to win that game. And it was a really competitive game of football, so we needed to win it. We didn't do it. Here we are.
How much are you feeling Manchester City breathing down your neck?
Well, we're always our own worst enemies, so it's more us than City right now.
Adam, when you look at the game yesterday, for me, and we'll come on to Eberechi Eze, I don't think it was a game for him. So I think Mikel Arteta got that one wrong in terms of he shouldn't have been playing that. We knew how Brentford were going to approach the game. Do you think he got that one wrong last night, picking Eze?
I think Havertz's injury had a major reason behind that. It was also Marino's injury. We had our two most kind of physical, over-the-top players that'll win your duels. Both dropped down in 2 weeks. Eze was the one that had to play. Odegaard was kind of rushed back for this game as well. So I think there was a reason why he played.
Can I just talk about Eze quickly before we go on to the game? Because, look, you know, I'm a Spurs supporter and he destroyed us in the reverse fixture. Spurs coming up again in the next couple of weeks. Maybe that will be a sign for him to play. But from talking, having my Palace connection, from talking to a lot of Palace fans recently, they said he's always been this moments player. And when you watch him week in, week out, he doesn't put in a 90-minute shift. That's not someone you need at the moment in this title challenge, is it? Do you think that could be him for a little while, out the starting lineup once again?
I would actually argue that is what we need. Because if you look at Aston Villa, for example, you look at Morgan Rogers, he's a moments player. He gets those big snatch moments in games. Arsenal don't really have that. We've got Odegaard that can control a game, put a shift in, press, do all the work out of possession, high touches, high passing. But we don't have that player that will just step up and put it in the top corner edge of the box. Eze can do that. But in the summer when we signed him, I did a video with Palace fan and he highlighted all these things to me and he was like, look, I love the player, but he's slightly overrated. And Eze was one of my favourite players in the Prem for years. So he's a huge signing for us, but I don't think he hasn't really stamped his presence on the team. I think there is still a bit of, look, I'm at Arsenal as opposed to Arsenal have Eze, and that's a problem right now.
I don't know if you can read the screen there, Adam, but it's just changed actually. But Matthew's saying that Arsenal cannot handle the pressure. And actually, the last 4 times that Arsenal have played after Manchester City, your team, Adam, have dropped points. What is that down to? I mean, you're feeling it as fans. Are they feeling it on the pitch? Is it transcending to them?
It's hard to know. I come back to the point about Brentford last night. I don't think we were good enough. Our technical leaders didn't step up. I'm looking at Zubamendi here. I'm looking at Eze. The loss of Saliba to play that ball out from the back. He's a carrier and a progressor. That had an impact. But at the same time, you have to go to these grounds and win. You're always going to have injuries. If you want to win a title, you have to overcome these obstacles. And whilst Brentford were good, there's been other examples, as you've shown on the screen before I came on. That is an issue, and that's something we have to overcome. I think it's not just playing second. Our record against teams in the top half this season hasn't been spectacular, particularly ones in form. For me, until we overcome that, this is always going to be an issue. Our fixtures are getting easier, but we have to really start putting a run together now, and I'm talking about a big run.
Adam, how do you overcome that? I mean, we see a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? We all lip-read what Declan Rice said as he was walking off the pitch. So the players clearly feel it as well. So it's clearly a mentality issue. So what seems to be the problem there? I mean, you get bantered a lot about bottling the last few years, and if that happens again, the meltdowns are going to be iconic from everyone else's point of view. But how do you get over this mentality?
I mean, the meltdowns are already crazy from our own fan base, never mind the opposition. Look, that's for the players, the manager to sort out. We bounced back very strongly against United. We've just had 3 big performances last week, and then we've come out last night. The fact that the first shot on target was 61 minutes into the game and we scored from it, that's not good enough. That needs to improve. You look at Timber at the end, Martinelli's miss. Again, that's a big moment. But Brentford also had multiple moments that we kept them out. Mascara, Reyes save, these things, we need to be creating more. So it's a difficult one to answer because we bounced back really strong against Leeds, superb against Sunderland, big win against Chelsea. But then we've stumbled against a very good Brentford team. I think of the top 6, only City had won there this season, and they've only lost twice this season. But again, the performance wasn't good enough, and that's where you do need to dig deep. And That is why Mikel Arteta and those players are paid huge sums of money to figure out how do we get over the line.
Adam, come on, be honest before we let you go. The Opta supercomputer, 86% chance of Arsenal winning the title. 12% to Manchester City. Adam, come on. Speak a bit of sense this morning on Fan Club.
I do not take this serious because I remember 22-23 where the Opta computer was telling me all sorts of things. I was planning the parade. I was planning all sorts of celebrations. And I think
planning a quadruple now.
Let's go and beat Wolves on
Adam,
Wednesday
come on,
night
entertain me. Give me a number. Give me a percentage.
I'm going to go 65% Arsenal.
That's
so
more
just
like
higher
it, yeah.
than what Darren said. But look, you see these things about point pace and Opta supercomputer. It's just about winning the next game, getting a run together, and then suddenly we're all going to be bullish and confident and ready to celebrate in May.
Well, the next game's Wigan. That could be another trophy gone for Arsenal, couldn't it, this weekend? We shall see.
Yeah.
Adam, keep the faith. We'll speak soon. Lots more to come on Fan Club this morning.
Mikel, how do you view that point on the road?
Well, a really tough place to come. We knew that very difficult to dominate the game through long periods because they are really good. They drag you to a game where anytime the ball is in and around the byline or in the channel, you put the ball out for a throw-in, and it's like a casino. Anything can happen, and something really bad can happen. And you have to navigate through that. I think after the first 15 minutes, we started to dominate the game. Started the second half really well, the first 20-25 minutes, they scored the goal, and from there we lacked more composure, I think, to maintain the ball better, to play in the right areas, to stay more disciplined, because we started to give a lot of unnecessary free kicks away and with bad clearances, and allow the ball in the channels and start to generate set pieces, and they are really, really good at it, so credit to them as well, for sure.
That first 15 minutes, did you make errors that are quite uncharacteristic of your Arsenal side?
I don't know, it's part of the game. Sometimes you don't start that well, and sometimes it's credit to the opposition as well.
You made the switch at half-time for Martin Odegaard. Was that tactical or injury?
Yes, it was tactical. Yes, I think we needed a different kind of profile in the manner that especially they were pressing, and we started really, really well the second half.
And then at the end, as you said, it felt like either team could have won that and either team could have lost it.
Yeah, we had a massive chance at the end with a 1v1 all through for Guy Martinelli, but it didn't meant to be.
4 points the difference now. How much attention do you pay to this?
Well, the same that I was used to pay 2 or 3 weeks ago. We have to do our job, and we're going to have to come to all these places the same like the rest of the team, and we know how tough it is, and you have to be at your best every game and have the luck that you need as well in games to conquer the 3 points each week. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Mikel Arteta looking visibly flat and disappointed there. These are Arsenal's next 6 fixtures in the Premier League. Their rearranged fixture with Wolves, which would have been played on the original date that they were going to play the EFL Cup final, has been brought forward to next Wednesday. It does mean, Theo, that they're going to play in the league again before Manchester City play their next game. How important could that be?
Yeah, really important. It's I felt like with Man City getting the points yesterday, the days before, it's always that pressure of we need to do the job. So look, it's still in their hands. Look, they have plenty of games to make up the points, of course, but everyone was going to look at that game when they play each other. Of course they are, as a neutral. But look, Arsenal, he weren't happy. He would not be happy with that. He'd be unhappy with a lot of players as well tonight because they were indifferent, should we say.
Some of the things that I picked out from that interview, him saying they lacked composure and they were giving away unnecessary free kicks. It felt uncharacteristic of Arsenal tonight. Do you agree?
I think so, yeah. I think it's the pressure. But saying that, it's a difficult place to go. I think he referenced that, you know what you're getting when you go to Brentford. It's not going to be easy, but you've got to try and make it easy. But I think you have to cut out individual mistakes. In terms of the concentration levels, has to be high. You have to limit them of chances. They didn't do that, really. I thought Brentford were better in the second half. I thought Arsenal wasted the first half. Eze weren't good enough. I still feel like he's playing with a handbrake on. I know he ain't played games and probably not match fit, but you still expect a little bit more. But yeah, they were different. They were different tonight, and I think that's a mentality thing, if I'm being honest.
And they've got to be careful, Theo, because the narrative is going to continue, isn't it? To say this has happened before. They don't want to slip up like they have in the past.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as well in the dressing room if they're going to be constantly reminding each other of this. People like Declan Rice and the Odegaards.
Do you think they will?
I don't think they should. I think it's not a good place to be when you're looking at other results. But part of me feels like they will. But they need to. Again, it's the cliche, focus on their job and it's Wolves next. Simple as that. And that's the focus.
And a game against a team bottom of the league is potentially one that could get a bit of confidence from.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's probably the perfect game for them to play right now away from home. So, look, I think I would expect them to get an Arsenal win, a completely different performance.
And, of course, they've got the FA Cup before then. So many competitions.
Well, you can't go through a season and have it all your own way, Martin. It's the key to getting it over the line, how they respond to nights like this.
100%. I think the manager was very honest there, very open, and you have to credit Brentford for what they've done here tonight as well. That on the threat they had up top, really good pace. So, but I think Arsenal, when they reflect on this, that obviously they weren't at their best, but they've come away with a point. The next game up is a cup match, but then they play Wolves, which they can go 7 points clear, and maybe if they win it, and that shifts.
Then a North London derby.
Yeah, without a manager currently, maybe that's a good thing for them. They would have had a look at this tonight. But I think Arsenal scraped through here tonight. They could have put down a really big marker if they'd have won the match, but it never looked like that was going to be the case. And I think we have to credit Brentford for that. They really played well here, and Arsenal will see that as a really good point earned in the end, I believe.
Are you seeing a change in Manchester City at the moment, though, Peter, in the way they're picking up some momentum?
Well, what Manchester City have got is the know-how, is the recent history behind them, and I think what Arsenal have done, obviously finishing second, the criticism comes that that can lead to a little bit of nervous tension around the stadiums, certainly towards the back end of the season, and having someone like Manchester City with Pep Guardiola behind you is always you'll always be looking over your shoulder, but you'd much rather be in Arsenal's position. They're 4 points clear. They've got games. They've got probably the best squad in the league, and I think with Mosquera's tackle there, right, Igor Thiago was through. That's a match-saving tackle. If they win the league by a point, we'll be looking at that and thinking, he hasn't played all the games, but he's earned them a point there, and this could be a point earned because it's a difficult place to come.
If you can't win it, then you can't lose it. It's one of those, and I think in the past we may have seen Arsenal teams not getting what they needed. Mosquera's coming into the team last minute. Saliba sat at home, and I actually thought he played really well in this game tonight.
I did,
there was no ill effects from his performance. One or two others maybe not quite at the normal level. Declan Rice though was quite magnificent, but others need to stand up. If you're going to be champions, obviously you've got to improve on that performance. But you come away with a point, and I think that you've rescued the evening.
Do you think Mikel Arteta is getting better as well at responding to these kind of moments, staying calmer?
He's getting more experienced in it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every year you're in the job, I think you learn more without doubt. The criticism is he's got the best squad in the league. He's got a good group of players now. He's been in the job a long time. He's been unlucky with some top teams. Now, I don't think there's top teams in the league now. I think Manchester City aren't the Manchester City of old. Liverpool aren't. Manchester United aren't what they've been. Chelsea the same. I think there's a lack of quality in the top areas, and the bar's been set really high in the past few years.
Consistency is not quite there, is it?
And I think now is a real opportunity for Arsenal. If it doesn't go through, if they don't get it over the line, there's going to be more questions asked.
But with that in mind, should Arsenal be further ahead, do you think, with the tools that they've got and the squad that they've got, as Peter says, the best in the league?
Well, I mean, look, just at the weekend, Ødegaard, Saka weren't available. Suddenly they're back from the bench, and you're always playing a little bit of catch-up. There's another surgery for another player in the midfield. Marino got injured again, and he's broken his foot. He's out. So they're big losses. And the players coming in have got to immediately pick it up and take it to another level. That didn't quite happen tonight. In the case of Eze, didn't quite pick up, wasn't getting on the ball enough, wasn't pressing high enough. I thought the manager reacted really quickly to that situation, but they couldn't see it through.
What about Eze tonight? Because at half-time, it's 16 games without a goal for him, Peter. It just doesn't feel like it's quite working out for him at Arsenal so far.
I believe he's not started in the last 9 or something like that, so he's got to start today. You think, right, go and impress. Unfortunately, just felt off the boil, couldn't get on the ball first half. I mean, it was difficult for Arsenal in general, but for him, I felt for him, couldn't get on the ball, and then he doesn't give you that what Ødegaard gives you in pressing, and he doesn't affect it when he hasn't got the ball. So it was a bit of a passenger, if I'm being perfectly honest. I totally understand, and we called it kind of half an hour in he was going to come off, because for some reason it feels at the moment he doesn't fancy him. for whatever reason, and that's going to damage his England chances.
I think it's more. I think to say he doesn't fancy him. I think it's more a case of the player doesn't quite understand the structure in the same way Ødegaard does. So Ødegaard knows exactly where to be when the opposition have the ball, and then picking up those little spaces and the little passes and building play. Something Ødegaard does over it and affecting your confidence. Confidence is really important now, and that's where the manager can empower these players by giving them the confidence to feel that belief. We talked about it with their manager tonight. Keep telling the players how good they are. Nothing's really gone wrong here for Arsenal tonight. Big drama. Let's move on. Let's see. You get knocked down, you get up again. Let's see who the fighters are, and let's see who's going to win this.
How's your confidence, and Martin? Before we go, one word: will Arsenal win the league?
You got to love it.
One word.
You're never going to. They're in the running. You're not going to get me to commit, but they're certainly.
It's one word.
It's about 15 now.
In with a massive chance of winning it. Why not?
Was that a yes?